there's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Trucks song.
You know, he told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi Trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It was Midnight Harlem, and it caught our attention, man, and we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
Sup? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 169, and I am Adam Choit. To follow the show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. And on YouTube, just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're watching, you're already there, so please be sure to subscribe, give the show likes, shares, comments, engagement. All that stuff is definitely helpful and appreciated. At Adam Choit, Instagram, Twitter for me. If you want to follow me, please subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts, and I'll definitely put out an audio version of this, as I always do, of course. We are talking Bridgeport, a couple of shows over the weekend, and then Bethel, New York. The band has been on fire. I've caught some of the audio, some of the video, piecing it together. Stellar set lists as always, and got some people, some folks, some fans, some great fans who were there, who are going to recap those shows for me. And we'll get into Derek's new whiskey coming out in a little bit too. I'm sure we'll talk that and all things TTB. Let's bring on first timer Tracy and David, and returning is Daniel Marino. What's up, guys?
Evening.
Hey, how you doing?
We are all here. Oh, good to see you. Oh, you want to go horizontal there, Daniel? I should have mentioned that before, but
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Does that work? There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All
Sweet. Right. Let's we'll go around the room a little bit. Tracy, why don't you tell me, I guess, first where you are? I know you went to Friday and Saturday night Bridgeport, but tell me where you are and a little bit about your TTB journey, background, musical background, short version.
Sure. Well, first, thanks for having me here. It's great to be here. Oh shoot, did I lose you all again?
Yeah, did you get rid of video?
I keep losing internet.
That's
losing
okay.
internet somehow, so I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, we can always do audio if that ends up being better. You looking good and sound good right now.
Awesome. So I'm in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, and I caught Bridgeport both shows this weekend. My history goes all the way back to Derek's band, Derek Trucks band, and Susan's band, back to Boston days, and Derek from early days, going to see them. And I did a little bit of music photography back then, and got in with meeting everyone and hanging out, and absolutely loving their music. And I've been an Allman Brothers fan in my whole life, so I kind of have always been around.
Nice.
So,
cool. And you're from the New England, Boston area, is that what you said?
I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, from Connecticut. Okay.
Yeah, I live in Connecticut. Yep.
And how far from Bridgeport was the show?
Bridgeport is about 45 minutes with no traffic.
Okay. Cool. And you just always loved music and been following Derek and Susan for
always loved music. My parents
TTB.
took me to see live music when I was a kid, and I snuck out of the house as a young teenager to go see a local band here, Max Creek, that's still playing 50 years later. And that led me into the Grateful Dead and all of that. And I did that whole thing as a teenager up until pretty much the end. Not the new stuff, but up until Jerry died.
Gotcha.
Let me get you again.
It's all good. David, where are you located? And tell me your
So, Jacksonville, Florida. Currently up in New York visiting my son and daughter-in-law, so it worked out perfectly, tied it up. to come up here. He called. He said they're playing up here. Come on, let's catch a show together.
Cool.
So that's what got me up here. We had a great time over the weekend. Musical journey, Tracy, very similar to your story.
Nice.
Been into music my whole life from early years on. Was a big Almonds fan. Led me into Derek, Susan, like them before. Started with the Soul Stew Revival. Wani shows down in Florida. Caught some great sets early on. They played Florida Theater. Saw lots of great shows. Very lucky being down in Florida. We get to catch a lot of shows down there in the Southeast, and have been a TTB fan from the beginning. And catching more shows today than I've ever seen, which has been great because they just seem to be getting better each show.
Yeah, and it means almost even more coming from you, who's been following the band so long, and Derek and Susan so long, to say that it's like, you have the experience as a fan to, like, I guess, sort of back that up, if that makes any sense. So you've seen, like, I don't know, dozens, hundreds of times Derek and Susan on stage live?
A lot of times. Don't have a hard count, but probably I'd say half a dozen, 8 shows a year when they're on tour.
Do you
make a point of traveling around and catching different venues, different places?
Do you play music yourself, or sing, or anything like that?
No, just really enjoy it all.
Very cool. Yeah, it's just so much fun, and it's like fascinating how much we're all like moved by this music, because it's just like matter of fact, like how like much we love this band. It's like, yeah, I've been seeing them forever, and like, why would I stop seeing them? I saw them in 2011, so when they come back, I'm gonna see them in 2012, and if I can, I'll see them even more, and if I can, I'll travel to see them. It's like it makes perfect sense that our fandom grows even more each year. Are we getting better at fans? Like the band is, like David speaks to, is getting better and better, but maybe our passion is even growing too, in a sense.
I think watching the band evolve, looking back to, even I still listen to like early Derek Trucks days and looking at that, and then seeing him this weekend, and just how incredible he was then, but it's different now. Like he was always and will always be a musician that brings you somewhere, that takes you on a musical journey when he plays. Because for me, not all musicians do that. He's definitely one. This band is definitely one. Derek's Truck Band was definitely incredible. So watching it evolve, and to see, like, I'll use Friday night as an example, where like Adam and I talked earlier today, Derek smiled almost the entire night on stage, like the happiness with JMO in the room and the band as tight as it is was like oozing out of him. It was really, really cool to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Daniel, where are you located? And you were at Friday, or you were at Saturday and Sunday, you said?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I missed the Friday show, but my wife and I went up for our anniversary for the Saturday show in Bridgeport, and then we hit up Bethel Woods the next day, and we had a great time. We're from the Philadelphia area, from outside Philadelphia.
Right. Well, happy anniversary. How
Thank you.
How many miles did you guys cover on the road there, or hours or whatever?
It was about 4-hour drive to get to Bridgeport. We got a nice little hotel in a town that, like, right nearby, right on the ocean.
I'm all over the place. I want to start with Bridgeport and all that, but I almost like have to ask where, because I'm looking on a map, like at Bethel, New York. That is in the middle of nowhere. It looks like. I'm trying to like figure out what the hell is this near the PA New York border. It's between Manhattan and Albany, like halfway, but not straight halfway. It's more north west. Where the hell is Bethel, and what's going on there?
It's not far from the original Woodstock site.
Is Daniel
the original
frozen?
Woodstock Festival.
Up there
Yeah,
you're good now.
Yeah, it's a really cool. It is actually one of my favorite venues I've ever seen a show at. It was absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's supposed to be it's at the site of the original Woodstock Festival. They have a cool Woodstock museum there, and they also have camping that you can get after the show. So after the show Sunday, we just walked, you know, into the campgrounds right next to the concert venue. It was awesome. We had a wonderful time. But I was talking to my wife about it the whole way home, and I think that might be. I mean, we also really like Red Rocks, but I don't know. I think it's either Bethel Woods or Red Rocks are my favorite place I've ever seen a show.
Did you catch anyone like the conversation about people expressing like that much love of Bethel Woods, like to that degree that you're speaking?
Yeah, it seems that a lot of people say this. I mean, you know, because it was just that when you're in the venue too, it was just really nice. Everything was beautiful. You know, the food was all good. The staff were all really friendly, really helpful. You know, I just really think I really hats off to Bethel Woods Performing Arts Center. You know, it's a really nice place to see a show.
Nice. Shall we get into the Bridgeport shows? Tell me about that. So that's in an amphitheater, the Hartford. I'm pulling up a picture right now. The Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. And what was the vibe going into there? You guys were all there, right, for that one? No.
I was there for the second night, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, David and Tracy, you guys tell me about the vibe getting there, what the crowd's like, and all that stuff, and I'll get the poster and the set list and all that pulled up.
Crowd was pretty cool. I was on the floor Friday night, and they kind of had JMO's kit hidden. So I think for a lot of people, it was really a super, super surprise. Cool. And the crowd on the floor was dancing, so that was super exciting. And they did drums, obviously, in the beginning, as most of us have heard by now, in the Gilded Splinters, which, brought me right back to ABB days. And now hearing these guys do it live was super cool. And the vibe in the room as soon as they showed JMO on the people that saw him, and then they showed him on the screen, was immediate, amazing vibe in the room. And I definitely felt like I was home. It was great. Everybody was smiling and laughing, and it was, that's such a great song. And to have JMO there was really special.
How many songs did he play on? I mean, we might probably say
3 songs.
3?
Yeah, he played in the first 2, and then he came back out for one of them. I mean, he was out there hanging.
He came back up for Dreams, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
He got back in for that.
Yeah. So Gilded Splinters and
Statesboro.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. What a special thing. People must have gone crazy. Like,
yeah.
Because I think Susan introduced him right after Gilded.
Nice.
And that he was sitting in with them. So that was pretty special.
Yeah.
Super cool. Is this it? Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater?
That is it. Yep.
That's a funny looking place.
It's really weird looking.
Was this a spaceship?
I think it used to be a baseball stadium.
Oh, maybe a minor league.
Yeah, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, some kind of. It looks too. But maybe it used to extend further out. I could see like maybe out here. Is this could be the outfield fence, like out here maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to know exactly how big this is from the outside, but interesting. Bridgeport is an up and coming place. Am I being kind?
No,
it doesn't have the best reputation.
Live Nation, I believe, somehow bought it, and so it became a concert venue. And the train goes by, so some people think that's really cool, and some people really hate it. I think it's kind of cool. But it depends on who you're seeing there and what the volume of the band is, because sometimes some of the trains are really loud. But I think it adds a cool vibe to the place.
How many songs they have about trains?
I know.
whether or not it fits.
Yeah, I
It's an
talked to
American
Gabe
thing.
about that, the train theme and songs. Like,
Yeah.
even in his own music, that's a cool shot.
That's an American thing. American, like musical tradition.
Oh, thanks. That's cool. Someone just said it was the P.T. Barnum thing because that was like the birthplace of the circus, P.T. Barnum and all that, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Cool.
That's its claim to fame.
We have useful things in the comments. Thanks, guys. Here's
Yeah,
Susan
that's great.
here. Suzanne. There's a good video of Dreams on YouTube. Derek didn't stop moving. He was on fire.
That was another thing. He danced so much and like swayed and grooved as he was playing guitar, and going all the way back to like DTV days where that did not happen, and he still was incredible. But to see like the looseness and how much fun he was having was super special.
Yeah,
the whole band seemed to be having fun that night. You could just see it. There was just incredible energy up there.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say, Randy in the chat here, they cut the baseball stadium in half, and it was designed after P.T. Barnum, hence the circus-like venue. Randy, if you want to join, did I send you the link? I think I did. Am I losing it over here? Yeah, let's go back to the set list of the poster. That's Saturday night's poster. These are cool. This one really pops. A lot of animals lately, but the colors, it really is. They all have such like depth.
We got a poster for the next night, and I wonder about the background. It almost looks like, I don't know, like glass, but they are really cool. I thought they were beautiful.
Yeah,
I thought that, but it kind of always looks like a little bit like the design on the chips.
Huh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
It looks like there's a chip around here, even in the ceiling. That's definitely a poker chip design. This
is wild theme.
What a wild observation. But it's similar to what the ceiling at the venue, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't recognize it from the venue, but it just looks cool.
No, the ceiling in the venue, it's like a circus tent. It goes up.
Yeah.
Goes up to a point, just like you see in the picture.
Right. Some of these, like the one that I think it was, I don't know if it was I think it was the Warner in DC. It had like elephants, and it was like a low angle, and it had a lot of depth, like that sort of depth, and like almost like I see this as kind of like a low angle, and we're looking at a kind of a ceiling, maybe. I don't know. This is super awesome.
That smokestack is there right behind the venue in that warehouse.
You're right. Saw that to the right as we were driving in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All of that's there.
Yeah, captures the beauty of Bridgeport. And that's Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's also kind of like an urban. It's like the band is always like a mix of like kind of like urban, gritty blues bars kind of vibe, but also like very nature and like spiritual kind of like energy from TTB. Like they're very amorphous. Am I using that word correctly? They can evolve. They're shapeless. They can fit in really anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
a blues rock soul, 12-piece blues rock soul, a powerhouse. Blues rock soul powerhouse is how I describe them to people who don't know them in the quickest terms I can.
Yeah, that's accurate.
But I always describe them too as like a party band. Like if you need a band and you got like if you want to have like the best wedding or the best bar mitzvah or the best celebration, whatever, and you want to hire a band to play like rock and roll and party music, like heavy, that stuff, that they're who to call for that. This band.
That'd be one hell of a bar mitzvah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's the set list. We're here. Gilded Splinter, Statesboro, Here My Dear, Fallen, Show Me, Little by Little, Circles, Pasquan, I Can't Make You Love Me, Come and Go Blues, Made Up Mind, It Ain't Fair, Dreams, Storm into Whipping Post, State Trooper, Anyhow, and Let's Go Get Stoned. Those last three were the encore. Is this accurate? I think this was accurate.
That's a damn good. Right? That is a damn good set list.
Everything but what?
I think everything but Anyhow. They did State Trooper into Let's Get Stoned.
Right. Yeah, because they did Anyhow the next night.
They did Anyhow Saturday.
Yeah. For time, probably ran out of time there, but this is just
Storm Whipping Post is always a really, really fun one.
Well, and that was what, the fifth Almond song that they did that night. So it was
that was the right night for it, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Circles
Yeah.
Passaquan Mountain Jam thing there was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, Passaquan just keeps getting better. The more
I saw
you hear
that
it, he keeps taking it further and further. And yeah, the Mountain Jam was an extended Mountain Jam, which was amazing.
Right before we went on, I saw that there is a recording on archive.org of the Friday show that's up.
Nice.
But I got to go listen to that. That's definitely the one I'll probably go straight to is Circles, Passaquan.
Yeah, this was super stellar. And I feel like with the teases, like you don't know exactly what Derek and the band is going to do. So that keeps it so like keeps you alert and excited about what you might hear. You might give a second tease. It might end up being like, a big chunk of a song. There might be words, there might be instrumentals there, because everything evolves with this band, with these, how they perform live.
Yeah, they keep that fun for sure.
Absolutely. That was great fun. Such a great ABB vibe, that close to the city.
Yeah. 6 if you count it ain't fair. I think he's referring to what Allman Brothers
damn
songs in here in the set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll give the floor to you guys. Tell me.
And
what
they
else
did
They did what?
I just keep looking at the set list and it just gets better the more I look at it.
Yeah, no, it's
It Ain't Fair was pretty awesome. Alicia, the crowd really roared for Alicia through that, of course. It was pretty magical. And then Dreams after that was, that was just, you're lost in it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a Dreams and a Passaquan in the same night.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's too often you get both of those in the same night.
I couldn't sleep. Like I literally sat up the entire night trying to process how spectacular. There's so many words to describe that night, and with having JMO there to top it all off, and just the band interaction, and like I said, how happy Derek was, and it was just it was the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an amazing set list. The other thing was that it was more the Tedeschi Trucks Review and Revival night. Everybody got spotlighted that night.
Yeah.
Everybody was on it. And they kept passing it around.
Yeah.
And they were all having fun with it. It just kept going and building, and the pacing of everything was incredible. So
Gilded Splinters Gilded Splinter as an opener is pretty. They don't do that pretty often, right? That's like a hell of an opener. It's a
closer. That's like
close
in the last month.
They hit the ground running if they're starting with Gilded Splinters.
Yeah. They added the States Pro. You're like, okay, just buckle in. It's going to be an incredible night.
Yeah, the people in the chat like the set list best non-Beacon show I've seen this year. Randy was there.
It was a pretty special night.
Richie Walter, this was my favorite set list I've seen in such a long time. Such great moments. I don't believe him because he'll say the same thing about tomorrow night. Not him specifically, but all of us. I'm not. But yeah, no. I look at the set list and I always talk about how like what's the first thing that jumps out at me, and often it's something that's surprising or we haven't heard in a while or anything like that. But for here, it's not written on here, but the JMO appearance is kind of the big surprise. But all the songs just, you haven't got a ton of all these songs this year, but we've heard them. Like Statesboro, Fallen has kind of been a little bit quieter lately. Dreams, we've gotten it this year, but not, every fourth show, every fifth show, Dreams, something like that. It's not every night or every other night. And the same thing with the Storm and the Whipping Post. The Storm hasn't really been played all that much.
Oh no, a lot of the older
last
tunes.
Year or two.
Yeah, just it's only so much room with all of the "I'm the Moon" tracks, that they're throwing in there. I feel like a lot.
Yeah.
The Storm. So one of the first Tedeschi Truck shows I went. My first time I saw them at the Beacon was in 2021, and they did that one, the Storm into Whipping Post, and I listen to that recording all the time. I absolutely love it. But I feel like they haven't done. Have they done that yet this year? Storm into Whipping Post. I think that might be the first time in a while.
I think one or two other times this year at the most. I don't think more than that. I'm not totally sure, but
They did the whipping. They did a whipping post at Sun, Sand, and Soul, but they didn't do it with the Storm.
That was a while ago at this point. Yeah. And Gabe always does it up on Come and Go Blues.
Yeah, that was great.
Great performances. It's almost like I can see where the set list could be broke. Like if you're going to break this into two sort of mini sets, like after Pasaquan, that could be the end of a set. They've also like started a second set with I Can't Make You Love Me, with the set ending with Pasaquan, and also had Susan come back out and do I Can't Make You Love Me to finish a set.
Yeah,
because they could. I guess you could finish the first set not on a down note, but on after a slower song or a ballad, you know, knowing you got a whole nother set to go. So maybe that was kind of the end of the first set, and then Come and Go Blues and Made Up Mind. Stellar stuff all around.
Yeah. State Trooper was really great. I hadn't seen that live, so that was pretty fantastic.
That's a vibe with Mike and Susan.
Oh,
right?
So good.
Yeah.
They're
Mike's
it's kind
vocals and that haunting vocals, and then they break out and Susan jumps in. Great song.
Yes.
The way they put that together.
Right, and it's just her and him like starting on the song, just the two of them, that's kind of a unique.
And then they did Atlantic City the next night. So I guess were those the deuces for the Bridgeport shows, I guess?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
Something like that. But the fact that we haven't really gotten those two songs in a while just makes it like, you know, exciting and perfect. And like, you know, you probably hear them going into State Trooper. You're like, what? I didn't expect that. Like, even if things aren't you're going.
Oh, no, I expected that last week, and I was in Pittsburgh. Went to the show there, and Springsteen had played Thursday and Sunday night. So I thought, all right, maybe they drop one of those in just because of where they're playing and what's going on there. So it was fun to hear them over the weekend.
Yeah, I think these are all Friday nights pictures from the band. JMO, see if we got the
the whiskey.
There's Saturday. I stole someone's picture from one of the Facebook groups.
Yep.
Someone got pics and
they came up with everything that night.
Someone posted in the group they had a picture of a set list, and I think a pic and a chip. I think it was something. It wasn't this one. I think it was something else, or maybe it was this one. They said, "Oh, I got everything." And I was gonna be like, "There's no slide in the picture." But
the coveted slide. The coveted slide.
Yeah,
it's a hard one.
You can't say you got everything. This is not everything. You have to have. If you had the slide in this picture, I think that is more of the complete set: the chip, the pick, the set list, and the slide. No slide, you only got 3 out of 4. But this is a stellar set list too. I've got a feeling. Don't let me slide. Feel so bad. Sweet and low. Part of me. I want more into Soul Sacrifice. Atlantic City. Midnight in Harlem, Do I Look Worried? Anyhow, Leaving Trunk, How Blue Can You Get? Idle Wind, Space Captain in 1999.
It was a fun one.
You were just breaking up, and Stranger in the Strange Land was the encore. What were you saying, Daniel?
The Friday show, I was very bummed to miss because that set list was just fire from start to finish. But the Saturday show was fun because I feel like they played a lot. You know, I feel like the Saturday it was very atypical, where they did a lot of songs I was happy to hear, like Sweet and Low. You know, I love that song. Yeah. They haven't played that in a while. Lately, and so I was glad to catch that one. Atlantic City too. We saw them in Atlantic City earlier this year. We're really hoping we're talking about it on the way there. We're hoping they do Atlantic City, but instead we saw them do it in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which was fun, you know. But it was also a Friday night show was a blast. We had a great time. And they did Soul Sacrifice, which kind of surprised me because the next day they played Bethel Woods, the site of Woodstock, where Santana has his iconic performance of Soul Sacrifice. So again, I guess kind of just keeping us on our toes. They're like, but it was fun, a really fun show.
That's a good observation. That's funny. Maybe they just forgot, or I don't know, they couldn't make it work, but that's a good observation. Sacrifice.
So
I don't know what you just broke up there, but I think 1999 was the first time in the encore. They're like that might have been a newer thing too.
Yeah, I think
I really liked that. That was on my list of what I wanted to hear, what I was hoping to hear this weekend on that, list you have that grows every time, I feel like. But that was really cool. I really just Mike crushes that. Is incredible.
Yeah.
It reminds me of several other blues songs, maybe the arrangement and the tempo, but I can't pinpoint what songs those are. But I really love that sort of
It's so soulful,
and the groove and the bluesiness that's on there. Like that's just, I mean, I loved it the first time I heard it, but it's just growing on me more and more as they probably the song grows on them. Like that some of us wouldn't have been surprised. It's like, oh, that's just something we're gonna do in Minnesota or bring out once in a while. But it's like
it's evolving.
Same thing with but not same thing, but like back to the Sweet and Low thing. Like, I don't know, it seems to be hitting different now. Like in 2024 with them bringing it back into the fold, like in a different way. I don't know if it's some of the newer music, maybe because maybe not everyone in the band has played Sweet and Low that many times live. Like Gabe, how many times has Gabe Dixon played like Sweet and Low with today? He's on that the song, like as part of the lineup for that. But some of them may not. Some like Isaac hasn't played a lot of these songs live, certainly. So like that, maybe that's what's bringing a certain freshness and excitement to the songs, is like because they're new to some of the band.
Yeah, it's one of my wife's absolute favorites, and she was so happy when they played it. I was happy too. It's a great tune.
I think I saw that in your video.
Yeah, she was ecstatic.
Yeah, at the very beginning you captured her.
That was beautiful.
I did a good job of not ruining it, because I, of course, saw that they had been playing it, but I did a good job of not telling her so that it would be a surprise. And and they happened. Luckily, they played it.
I'm always more worried, not worried, but like, oh, it's okay if your camera's shaking or somebody jumps in front of it, or it's not perfect, but like, hey, just get the audio. Especially
I try to do my best, but
you never know if shows are being recorded or who's gonna get it or what's available, or at least what I can quickly find access to. So I definitely appreciate you filming.
I'm glad I started doing it because I feel like I came to Tedeschi Trucks from the Deadhead crowd, where and you get so
oh, you're cutting out, man. Maybe you want to do audio only. Maybe you should try on audio only, Daniel. But I think I know what you're saying. I think you're talking about probably how the Deadheads had a lot of access to media.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that when you're into Grateful Dead music, even if it's some random Grateful Dead tribute act, there's a good chance somebody is recording it, and you'll be able to find a recording of it later. Tedeschi Trucks, I went to a couple of shows the last couple of years where there's like no recordings of them that I can find, and that's why I kind of just started recording a show. And I always try to record full songs. You know what I mean? Like I just try to get a couple of songs from every show that I go to, so that I think it's fun. It's a jam band thing, like recording the music and then having it there. It's a fun thing to do. I'm gonna try leaving and coming back, Adam. See if that helps with the connection issues.
Sure.
Tapers are doing a great job. Hats off to the tapers, like Daniel was talking about, doing a great job.
Yeah.
So appreciated if they're out there listening that we get to enjoy the shows that you've been to, or more important, the ones you don't. So
the tapers,
the video, and the audio, great audio.
And video that people are doing. That made me so sad when he's like, yeah, there's some shows out there that I went to that there's no audio from, because I have a few like that also that like I just don't have access to, or like disappeared from YouTube or whatever. Like, we need to I think the band is working on something, potentially where we can access more stuff. Randy was mentioning here that show me mid show is awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're getting encores. You got an encore you can get an encore at any time, like, or at the beginning of your show you're getting Gilded Splinters.
They're coming out just killing it when they open.
Yep.
Here we got comments. Suzanne combining It Ain't Fair to Dreams, which is fabulous. Yeah, that's kind of how they I think that's how they debuted in A Fair and went into to Dreams. Super cool stuff. You got your back here?
Yep.
Oh, there he is. All right, cool. We could keep on going with this set list a little longer if you guys want. Sure. Tell me what jumps out at you. Midnight Do I Look Worried Anyhow? That's classic TTB right there.
Absolutely. So good.
Sure. Yeah.
And Leaving Trunk, wasn't that
Great
behind like Soul Sacrifice?
Oh, what's that? Where are we going?
I was saying Leaving Trunk, that was great. But didn't they normally combine that with Soul Sacrifice?
Or Volunteer Slavery?
Volunteer Slavery, right.
That's no Volunteer Slavery.
Yeah,
one?
Thanks.
Not that time.
Yeah. And then Idle Wind, always incredible.
Yeah.
Kevy, the flute nowadays into it is great.
I think he's getting better too. Like it's like taking it to new. It just sounds like more. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's me, but it's growing on me more and more. And like it's almost like I think it's become like an essential thing for like every TTB show to have some Kevy flute, like at least for the foreseeable future. I kind of was saying that last episode as well. You know, I think it's just like become like a thing. You know, it's a great tribute to Kofi. Like the flute,
yeah. And then
it used to be
Captain's great. Having that instead of the encore to close it with, I think, is a great show closer.
Yeah.
How many encores did we have in this show? Every song is a.
I know, right?
Well, I want more Soul Sacrifice. That's a powerhouse one, and Leaving Trunk they've closed shows with, and Idle Wind they closed at least the sets with.
Mm-hmm.
They've closed this. That's a great set one closer, and Space Captain is maybe their most popular encore.
We were really happy to hear that one too, because they did Space. So my wife and I saw Tedeschi Trucks for the first time at Lock-In in 2018, and you know they
still stink. Connection. Yeah, maybe try audio or a different device. But yeah, Space Captain, the stuff what they do with
Elizabeth and
it's become like Elizabeth's song, or at least not her song, but like an Elizabeth.
She shines.
Yeah, it's become essential. Like as opposed to like not as opposed to, but I feel like a lot of other TTB songs have evolved, but it's like that's pretty, I feel like set in stone where that's gonna be a Derek and an Elizabeth, and just her style really suits Space Captain, I think, as an encore, as a closer, as a powerful moment in a set, because of it's just like the power of the trombone, the bluesy style, it just the rollicking party aspect, even of just the instruments themselves, the electric guitar and the trombone, it suits them.
The conversation is great between them.
It's great between Derek and all the horn players, and it's different between all of them. But I think something about Derek and Elizabeth really works well for like the most, what's the word for high volume, powerful crescendo moments, like during the show itself. Let's see if we can get it. Daniel, there on you gonna try audio?
I like it.
What up? Well, he's here if he's here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think so.
All right. Yeah.
No, I guess we don't. I'm gonna boot you out again. Maybe you want to try a different device. It's all good. Works better when we're traveling on the road from Bethel. That's where you need to get the good connection. Yeah, I'll let you guys speak to whatever else jumps out at you about this set list.
So right out of the gate, I've got a feeling Sue's energy and the crowd energy. Such a fun song, and again, just everyone just seemed really happy, and that I think obviously reflected into the crowd. The second night was sitting in balcony seats, and I was the only person standing. And I danced anyways. And no one said anything, thankfully. I was very happy about that. And then I sat down, and then a woman next to me like leaned over and motioned to me would I stand up and dance with her because she wanted to dance. So we stood up in solidarity and danced. But it was definitely a sitting crowd, but it's still very energetic. But it was a great song, great opener, great.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first 4 songs are songs that like they haven't been playing either all that much lately, or like in Sweet and Low's case, just kind of bringing back into the sets like now. So like that's quite a like. No one got any of those first 4 songs right. Probably, maybe Sweet and Low somebody could have guessed, but I don't think anyone would have guessed those. And the Soul Sacrifice is not something that they've been playing all the time. So you got that surprise and the 1999 encore.
That was definitely
The Stranger in the Strangerland. Like that's been just like that's just a great song. And anytime TTB does that, it's gonna be special. And Margot.
And they bring Margot's band up, so it's all of Margot's band and all of TTV. And it's
a couple of song, right? To have that many people up there, it's that Mad Dogs and Englishmen of this huge band up there, and everyone's having fun at the end.
Right?
But the whole night was incredible. Coming off a Friday night, it's like, all right, how do you top what we just saw Friday night?
Yeah,
and had no idea what to expect setlist, and they really dug back pretty far. It was like a pre-I Am the Moon kind of set list here with what they played that night. So
I Am the Moon. No, I Am the Moon at all.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty rare for TTB to have No I Am the Moon. I think there was definitely at least one other show that I can recall where they did 20 on the Moon. I would guess there's maybe more, but maybe not. Like we were saying in the last episode, like that's what 24, 26, whatever, how many new songs that they have in their most recent album, and to be able to play an entire show with this much amazing music and be like, nah, we're not going to play our 24 song quadruple album just because we don't feel like it tonight, or we want to do we want to do something else tonight, so we're going to do that. Like, and they can and not skip a beat, and having their like biggest fans like ourselves have to like sort of even like come to like realize that and notice that is like quite something. Because I don't know, any other band you follow, if they didn't play their most new 24 songs, which are all great, like you'd notice that right away in the set list with every other band. But their catalog is just crazy deep. How do they remember how all these songs go? They never really, they're pretty accurate with the performances, executing and remembering all the changes and lyrics and things like that. I mean, obviously there's some missed lyrics and technical things here and there, but overwhelmingly, I have no idea how they remember all hundreds of songs. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially when they pull, like you say, from older songs or songs that haven't been in rotation for a long time, and then they don't really have a lot of rehearsed time or anything like that. So that's always amazed me, how you keep all those lyrics and whatnot in your head.
Yeah, no, it's wild, but that's what they're not me. They're
professionals.
Right. I'm thinking of myself, like overwhelmed by the idea of all this, but they're not me. The professionals.
That's what keeps bringing us back, right? They're incredibly tight. You never know what you're going to hear on any given night, and it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Go in there with sort of an open mind of, let's see what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the rehearsing and pre-show process and preparation and hard work and practicing that goes into it, it's all working. It's all coming together. It all comes together, certainly. Yeah. Randy's asking about the new trumpet player and how do you learn all the songs? Practice.
Practicing.
But you know what they always say about TTB? I think Brandon has talked about this and Gabe has talked about this. When you join TTB or fill in for TTB, whatever, and are playing with them, and you have to learn some of their songs or all their songs, whatever it is, like you'll say, okay, learn Bound for Glory, but then you got to ask, like, which version am I learning? What is the tempo for this? Who's getting the solos? Like, who starts the song? Like, that doesn't mean anything saying learn Bound for Glory. Are we playing 2018 Bound for Glory? Are we playing 2023 more? There are differences, and I'm sure, like, I don't know how often you guys dive back and listen to like 2013 TTB, 2011 TTB,
Mhm.
2018. It's definitely different. That's all. It's just different.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you could hear how
Mhm.
the music has grown over the years somehow. Like, but when you're listening at the time, you're like, this is the best thing ever. I can't even conceive of something better than this. And then you listen to Passaquan or something, like different versions over the last few years, and it's like, damn, it's crazy how they
Yeah.
somehow figure out, Derek and the band figures out how to like just take the songs to like new places without like making it tiresome or overly experimental, or just every song in the present just feels like, that's like I always say, like that's the correct version, that's the best version, that's like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense, like the notes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. It's watching them all evolve. There's definitely different versions.
There's nothing like this out there. What other band is doing anything close to this? I mean, we all talk about other bands and appreciate other music, and I'm really saying that as like a compliment to TTB more than like
Mhm.
a detriment to
Mhm.
any other band. But like, I can't think of anything that's like consistently that can be comparable in terms of like consistent output of just musical virtuosity and moving the fans emotionally. They're good. I'm a fan of them.
No one else for me. And I think in the first three songs Friday night, I definitely cried through most of them. And It Ain't Fair, definitely. Yeah, there was a lot of joyful tears for sure.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
else.
When you listen to TTB, like people say, oh, I'm getting emotional, we'll cry for certain songs, but there's like different kinds of tears. There's tears of tears, if that even TIER, whatever. But no, like there's a certain emotion that runs through you when you're listening to Midnight in Harlem versus It Ain't Fair versus even like Passaquan. Some of the more music, like instrumental music stuff, is very, very moving, and it doesn't have to be necessarily like I always talk about a ballad per se that moves me emotionally to the point of tears or whatever. Like sometimes just hearing Derek rip a solo or watching the drums, it's like thinking about my own fandom and connecting to this music and a million other thoughts going through me. It just like becomes overwhelming where you have to
Yeah.
let it out, basically.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it feels like healthy, cathartic, all that stuff. I don't know how they can like continue to play after like it's just almost like you're like emotionally exhausted after like listening to like Idle Wind or something like that. It's like, wow, I need a break. Someone said I need a cigarette after that.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, how they did 3 nights in a row. I mean, after 2 nights, I was just cooked, and I wasn't up there working the way they were. I was out back dancing, and they did a 3rd night that I'm sure we're about to get to. To put that out night after night, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know
working hard.
anybody that works that hard.
Yeah, they do work that hard, and I almost think of it. I can sometimes not think of it, but like be like, oh, it's just automatic because they're so good. It's like they're just like they're a machine up there to some degree. But like Susan does say literally like, how about it for the band working hard up here? She does use that phrase a lot. And
Yeah.
it's a good one. Randy here in the chat says he teared up during Whipping Post, was with his buddy who turned to him at Sand and Soul. Say we've been to a few Almond shows together. Oh, he was with his friend who turned him on to TTB. I think I can't read. I'm retarded. This is beautiful. No, but what a great set here. Anything else on this one? Keep the train moving along. I think I got. Oh, here we go. We can look at the Bethel Woods poster.
Very cool.
Interesting. Almost has more of a. That's more of like a Passaquan kind of style.
Very 60s psychedelic.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
I really wanted to buy that poster, but I got the one from the night before, so yeah, just skipped it.
Yeah, it's funny that I always look the most closely at the posters when I pull them up during the podcast, and I'm like now is the time I want to analyze and figure out what everything means and whatever, and like notice the things I didn't notice before. Like this looks like we're going to like heaven or Red Rocks or something. I don't know. This is wild.
Yeah.
Again, like there's a lot of depth to these.
The stairways.
Old like pop art style too. I know I've seen old Grateful Dead posters from the 60s, very similar.
Yeah.
Style, it's cool stuff.
Right.
Definitely.
Very nice. Oh, and that's a good one this is from Friday.
Legendary right there, yeah.
With Derek and Isaac and JMO and Falcon. Super cool.
Those were the smiles of the night.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, look, if you guys ever want I got the Wi-Fi here. The Live Nation artist Wi-Fi. Oh, man, nothing gets past me. Here's the whiskey. We'll get back to that in a second, but is this pixelated image that I pulled off Google here is Bethel?
Yep.
Yeah, that looks pretty. Even pixelated.
We had a great time. Yeah, it was a really nice place. We actually had seats, but we ended up just chilling on the lawn because there was so much space. Lawn wasn't packed, so we were able to kind of get right up front, just lie down, put a blanket down.
Up here?
Yep. Yeah, we were actually on the other side, but we were kind of off to the side. Yeah, but we could get. It was really nice. I wonder what the place is like when it's like sold out, like packed. Sure, not quite as comfortable, but we were really comfortable last night. It was a great time, great venue.
Yeah, but I believe it. Yeah, and you've been to a handful of shows, obviously at this point, and you've probably been at a handful of vantage points from the very front to wherever else.
Yeah, this last night was my 20th show.
Yep. Good stuff. Let me find the set list here. Yeah, the letter, darling, be home soon. Play with my emotions here, my dear. Yes, we will. Emmeline, any day. High and mighty, Angel from Montgomery into Sugary. Outside Woman Blues. The Isaac Heavy Jam. Let me get by. Gonna move. Making an appearance the first time this year. Maybe. Bound for Glory. A song for you in the encore first time this year for that too, maybe. And then the Sly and the Family Stone medley encore with Sing also in the encore with the song for you with the Sing a Simple Song. I Want to Take You Higher. With Margot's. That's the first time first time they did that, I think. The Sly medley for an encore with Margot and her band. But yeah, I think Song for You and Gonna Move were 2024 debuts for that, right? I could be mistaken. The bird on the guitar is the Woodstock logo, by the way, says Suzanne in the chat.
Oh yeah, true enough. Yeah.
Emmeline, the darling, be home soon. There's always something in this. I'll get it back here. Where the hell did it go? But there's always something in the like every night that jumps out at you. Starting the show with the letter and the darling, be home soon. I'll give you the floor. I did hear this entire show, Mama DD radio or whatever on the Mixler app.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah. Super cool. Emily, like, I don't know. I'm just talking about what jumps out at me, and I could be all over the place. But any day, we haven't gotten a lot of that.
Any day is always a really fun one. I absolutely love the song Emmeline. I'm a big Mike Madison fan. He just it's just one of those tunes where, I don't know, just the songwriting is extraordinary. Any day is always a lot of fun. I feel like that's one that they don't pull out that often, right? Like that's like a really high energy, just feel good jam for me.
Derek T's Franklin's Tower.
Yeah.
Blue Sky.
Yep.
High and Mighty is also a song
Oh,
I really
yeah.
love.
That's
Like
great.
I love that song, and it's another one that I feel like just doesn't get a lot of love from
Not
them
lately.
anymore.
Maybe the second time they played this year, if even that.
Wow.
Second or third.
That
Not
EP
more than
is
that.
one of my favorite things that they've released, though. I love, the live version of Shame that they have on the High and Mighty EP is excellent. And
Do you guys know Quinn Sullivan, the guitar player, by any chance? The artist? He's
Yeah.
based out of the New England, Boston guy, younger,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've seen him a couple of times, and he's been on the podcast, and he's very talented dude too. But I was watching one of his Instagram lives one time, and he was just going into the riff from High and Mighty just because he likes TTB and knows the riff. And I'm in the right place right now. And I commented, I'm like, oh, that's TTB. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's such an awesome riff there. Yeah, it's cool song. Now I'll let Daniel speak to what jumps out. I mean, we were listening too, so we know all the songs.
Sure.
Starting with the letter, that was really cool.
Good one. Yeah, fun.
Appropriate for where they were. I'm trying to see what else. A Song for You, so another Leon tune.
Yeah, that's thoughts of Kofi and
That was
Susan doing
always
that with
special.
Kofi. She
Yeah.
must. I'm sure. If I'm thinking about Kofi during the song, I'm sure
Oh.
Susan is thinking about.
I
Kofi.
immediately go back to that night every single time I hear that song now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time Susan and Kofi played it together.
Yeah.
Is probably what we're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, they needed to finish strong with the Sly and the Family Stone to go from such a powerful emotional ballad to the
Sure.
party.
Yeah.
And also,
I don't know what the hell you just said, but Randy in the chat says like the nod to Woodstock with the Cocker's
Yeah.
letter to open the Bethel show.
Yeah, that was great.
Darlin' B. Homestead is always that's always an emotional one too. Trying to hold it together on that one. And even Yes We Will, we haven't gotten a super ton of lately. They've cut back a little bit on that, so to hear that, just there's such a timeless element to a song like that, and really this band, that's their time. I don't know, it's hard to even their music I don't mean this in any sort of to sound too over the top, but their music really does transcend time in a lot of ways. Not that it in all ways, in more than one way. I don't know, it just happens to be 2024, but they're just playing great music. I feel like that could be
That's appropriate for what's happening in 2024.
Right, but it also sounds like it could be music from 1974 or 1968. A lot of their songs, and I think that's they pay such a great tribute to artists that have come before them, not just with the covers, but in their styles.
Yeah.
Bunch of hippies love Sugary, I'm sure. You can always hear when they go into an Allman Brothers song or really whoever the artist is, you always get the handful of hardcore fans who are going to make their voice heard when they go into an Allman Brothers song or a Dead song or any of their covers, really. But you can hear who the hardcore fans of those artists were. The old heads, so to speak. What else about this one? We covered it. What else is there to say? There's nothing else to say about this band.
It was quite a weekend.
Yeah. I think Dan's also stuttering a little bit and breaking up. I don't think he was saying anything, but maybe he's.
You can see me, but you can't hear me.
Oh, now I hear you.
Oh, you can't. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's causing it.
No, it's all good.
I can see and I can hear you guys.
No, now we're 100%.
Oh, I hear you now.
59 minutes in. But once you start talking about the band and making a great point, that's when the internet gods like to come in. But I'm keeping the train moving along. The Isaac Kebby jam is fun too.
Oh yeah.
I like that they challenge isn't the right word, but like, push the audience to different sounds and different avant-garde and jazzy elements within TTB. It just gives that much more of a range and introduces fans to all different kinds of music. And it's cool that, within, I always talk about how have talked about within the horn section, like, Kebby, Elizabeth, and Ephraim, like when he's there, like they bring their own styles to the band individually, which makes a much more layered tapestry of sounds, if I will. I gotta end because I'm not gonna be able to top that. Let's see here. I figured, well, is there anything else about this set list? Because I figured we could talk about the whiskey thing for a minute, because that was fun. That's exciting. So I guess there was an announcement today on social media that Derek has a new brand out that I'm going to read what the band actually said about it here. But introducing APW, which stands for Ass Pocket Whiskey. I'm teaming up with some of my bourbon friends to release a series of whiskeys exclusively in a 200 milliliter flask sizes to fit in the ass pocket of your jeans. I did not expect Tedeschi Trucks band to post something on social media today that uses the phrase ass pocket, but here we are.
I didn't think it was.
I think I know what you were saying there, but again, of course, when you talk TTB, you break up. APW is my reaction to folks collecting bottles instead of enjoying them, and a way to give more people a chance to break the seal on some top shelf bourbons without breaking the bank. I'm throwing my first taste party at the Show Barn at Ashburn Farms on Wednesday, September 18th, before we headline Bourbon and Beyond's Barrel Stage. That's a festival Friday. Yeah, there's some people already. Jeff Fink, from friend of the show, is going. Some other people are. I think I've seen posts about heading to that, so I'll definitely do a recap of that one. But this is pretty awesome. I want to try it. I'll try it right now too. If you fucking. What time is it? 5 o'clock somewhere. 7:05 on the West Coast.
It's early.
I like the label and all this for sure. I haven't even looked closely at I was thinking maybe that's that's supposed to be Kentucky, I guess, probably not. I didn't even look at this. 100 proof.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. What are we trying to do to me here? But you'll get more mileage out of that, I guess, right? It'll last, I guess, conceivably.
It'll last longer.
Yeah.
And isn't Ass Pocket Whiskey a R.L. Burnside album?
It might be. I think it's definitely
I can picture the cover with people and whiskey in their back pockets.
I did Google Ass Pocket Whiskey, and I think there were some other ass pockets that came up. Nothing's too gratuitous or gratuitous at all. So it is a phrase that's popular in our culture in some capacity. I have not done the deep dive on ass pockets or ass pocket whiskey, but I will. I'll try to get someone who's from the production of this to come on. Maybe they know a lot of TTB lore and love the music too. Yeah, I want to get I'll literally talk to anyone related in some capacity to this band. I want to get someone from Passaquan on here, get this whiskey person on and all this stuff.
I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, we were talking.
Got to get someone from Fender to talk about the Susan guitar, all this stuff. I got so much to do. Oh man,
it was cool seeing that. She had
a long time coming. What's that?
She had one of those with her. She had her signature one, and then one of those, I'm assuming, because it didn't have signature on it. Yeah. I forget what she played it on. I meant to pay attention, and of course I did not.
I wonder if anyone really will get get it customized with replica versions of the signatures.
Probably.
I always say how it is it is kind of part of the look of the guitar, the fact that it's signed. So it's almost like if you were to make a Susan figurine or action figure and you had that guitar, you would probably want to have the little signatures on there. They probably debated that. That probably was a debate. do you want to have the replica signatures on there or not? I mean, I'm sure it's definitely the right decision, but nevertheless, good stuff, guys. I appreciate the time. I know it's a little later on the East Coast. Anything else we need to cover or discuss or talk about? Dan, you should share something that's so profound, and then have it get cut. No, it's all good.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to meet you, Tracy, and
nice
David.
to meet you guys. Yep, nice
Thanks.
talking to you.
Appreciate you having me on. Keep the show
thank you.
going.
Anything else? Anything else? Any upcoming shows? You guys are more than welcome to come back on to recap. Who's got upcoming shows here?
Philly on Wednesday.
Yep.
I am considering SPAC on Saturday.
And I'm done until November with the Fox to close it out at the end of the run.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
I am doing a Boston show and a Providence show in the fall.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe what day of the week is that Philly show?
Wednesday.
Oh, maybe next day. Maybe next day we do that one, because then I'll probably do SPAC. I'll recap SPAC and New Hampshire all together during, once the brand has their little break before Bourbon. But don't forget, or just come back on and I'll recap all of those. So either next Thursday, I'll just do this right now live and do all my booking right now. We'll figure it out. SPAC, I think Randy's going to SPAC.
Nice.
SPAC's a good one.
Yeah.
From what I gather, popular. It seemed like everyone I know was at some combination of these shows this past weekend. Like, just looking at like everyone's posting, I'm like, I know you. So I'm harassing everyone I know to come on. But it's been fun. Thank you guys again.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good stuff. Cheers, guys. Later. So there you go. What was that? Episode 169, recapping Tedeschi Trucks Band in Bridgeport, Connecticut a couple of times, and Bethel, New York. Thank you, Tracy, Daniel, David, everyone in the chat. Good stuff. Good stuff all around the band has just been on fire. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Please subscribe on YouTube, on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. Follow on Instagram. Give positive reviews on Apple Podcasts. That's appreciated. Podcast on Instagram. It's been a long day. AdamChoit.com for all of my personal stuff that I'm working on outside of this show. Tedeschi Trucks Podcast will get you to everything related to the show. TedeschiTrucksBand.com is their official website. Definitely check that out. Buy tickets to shows, buy merch, join the Swamp family, fan club. Thank you to the band, the fans, podcast supporters, guests. Lots more exciting things are upcoming. I'm cooking up some fun stuff this next month that I'm excited to share with you. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe. I definitely appreciate all the support. But I think that's about all I got for today. Thank you again for listening, for watching. I'll get the audio version of this episode out soon. But have a good evening. Peace.